You make me feel special. Wanna be around you.
K-pop as an industry tends to operate purely based on microtrends that only affect some spheres of the industry and macro trends that affect the entire industry. Think how pre-2016 in line with groups like Twice debuting, the cute concept was completely in, and most songs from that era fell in line with that. Then in 2018, everyone got tired of that and we got heavy girl crush concepts from groups like Blackpink, Everglow, and quote-unquote noise music from groups like Stray Kids. Well, noise music started to drive everyone nuts, and from 2020 to 2022, we got retro. Oh, retro. Pre-2020, I was just a mild K-pop fan, so I never felt the burnout from witnessing a trend being milked dry for 2 years straight. So retro was my first taste of that, and god was it painstaking. We had amazing tracks like I Can't Stop Me and Mago, debuts like Stacy's So Bad. It felt new but familiar, calling back to 70s and 80s music. It was really nice, and then it dragged on, and on, and on. Oh god, make it stop. I can't take another Weeknd's Blinding Light synth or Dua Lipa violin sample in a K-pop song ever again. Someone please save us. And then we got newjeans. Just as I was pulling my hair out, newjeans came in with an entirely different concept of fresh, youthful minimalism. And it's not that they were doing anything new. We already had R&B and K-pop, and Pink Panthers was doing the UK garage thing for quite a bit before newjeans picked it up. But the thing is, when K-pop holds so tightly onto their industry trends that you can barely pry it out of their cold dead hands, a simple callback or slight change suddenly feels like innovation by comparison. newjeans might as well have reinvented music as we know it. That's how much brain rot the last 2-year-long genre trend made me get. So yeah, all was good again, and I swear the air tasted fresher, the sky was clearer, we were so back. Then other groups started doing it. Okay, this is cute. I love these songs. But then suddenly everyone's concept had gone Y2K. Okay, this is nice. Okay, it's been 2 years and we're still here. Suddenly I'm back to how I felt at the end of retro. I feel like an animal clawing the cage of my enclosure. Let me out! Let me! Oh, what's this? After being terrorized by the entire industry trying to get a piece of the newjeans pie, I can finally see a light at the end of the tunnel with the influx of interesting music coming back into K-pop. Midas Touch, Rescene's debut, TxT and now Lossemble. I'm finally seeing music that makes me excited for K-pop slowly start to be reintroduced into the space, and I'm so freaking happy. So let's get a bit deeper into these tracks so I can discuss why I'm so much happier with this direction of music. Also, let me explain more of what this video is about. I feel like we're kind of going all over this place. This video is half surface level industry analysis and half comeback reviews, with a greater conclusion drawn near the end of the video, so stay tuned. Starting off with Rescene's debut and pre-release, these tracks take me back to 2019/2020 K-pop, when we just had this huge influx of gorgeous, serene, funky house music. Think Peak iZone, Loona, WJSN, Twice's Feel Special, and SIX's Movie Star. The music felt so expensive and glittery. Rescene's debut is just a breath of fresh air. Whether it's the radar sound design, plucked bass reminiscent of Luna's Butterfly and delicious synth pads of Yoyo, or the gritty square bass and bouncy synth brass in the chorus of Uh-Oh, these songs perfectly teeter the edge of not making me understimulated like the chill garage and club beats of the past years, nor overstimulated like the heavy EDM songs of 2018. They still managed to keep me interested with catchy lyrics and satisfying top lining and repetition. Truly one of my favorite debuts this year. Rescene, I will be keeping up with you. Just when I couldn't get enough, Lossemble came out with Girls Night. And I love it so freaking much. I couldn't be any prouder of my girls. This is exactly everything I wanted from a post-Loona song. The verses consist of only a funky gliding bass and punchy drums in full time. Then we get to the pre-chorus and the track slips into a R&B halftime. This gorgeous filtered synth just fills your ears. And then the chorus just true synth pop house music with satisfying vocal chops to fill any empty space. Did I mention this song has a bridge? Like a real bridge? Seeing a non-SM group with a bridge in their song nowadays feels like such a stroke of chance. Okay, I don't want to harp on this for too long, but on my video about bridges, a lot of people brought up the notion that bridges are overrated and unneeded. They dissipate the pace of the song and they're generally very boring. Don't get me wrong, that's a valid opinion, but personally, I feel like you're the boring one, because why do you need every K-pop song to keep your attention like a TikTok Reddit story with Subway Surfers gameplay on the side? I generally get so happy to see bridges, and they make songs so much more replayable in the long run. Thank you, Lossemble. I never once doubted you, I never asked who was gonna sing. I never said you should have joined Mod House. I was totally on your side for the entire thing. I never had any doubts.
Someone like you 이 세상 단 하나 서로를 길들여진 너와 난
I feel like the nail in the coffin for me that this type of ethereal house music is coming back to K-pop is TxT's latest release. Something I've noticed in K-pop is that before something takes off or gets reintroduced, you start to hear it in the B-sides as almost a test. Like before the newjeans wave really took off, it started with groups slowly introducing a garage track or two as a B-side, dipping their toes in the water, if you will. And I'll See You There Tomorrow falls right into that, with more songs like this starting to come back into the space. And just, my god, this track is ascending. Like, it's actually delicious. It feels like biting into a gusher. I feel like I'm floating through the cosmos with glistening vocals surrounding my ears. The song is just so satisfying. It's like watching Tetris pieces fall into place, or playing a game of Mario Kart on a pretty map. The four on the floor, the hats, the glitchy plucks. Oh, this is music. The only element of this song I don't like is the post-chorus breakdown where we just get vocal chops and instrumentals. It just feels too generic, and I really don't like when songs do this. I don't like feeling like I was just shoved into an H&M store. But yeah, the rest of the song is just amazing. Okay, I know I'm batting like really hard for this specific type of music to come back in, and one could argue the more authentic Y2K like Britney pop would actually have a better shot at being the next big thing with Midas Touch and that popularity. And now Kepler released that song Starlight. I genuinely wouldn't be surprised if this is what's next. I mean, don't let JYP catch wind of this, or soon all of his groups are going to be doing that. But I'm just batting so hard for this specifically because this is more of what I want, like a manifestation from me. It's not fact. But tell me you guys don't see it. Like, we need more music like this. This should be the next big thing. This needs to be... Wait. I'm doing it again. I'm calling for one music trend to overtake K-pop and become the new status quo. I'm doing what fans do every time something new gets reintroduced into K-pop. We praise these trends, call them a breath of fresh air, absolutely eat these tracks up, and then spit them out when we're done. Why? K-pop fans are always looking for the next big thing, and I'm looking for it too. Are we over consumers? Is there anyone to blame but ourselves? Yes, companies are egregious with how much they'll milk for profit, but who's enabling it? It's us. In fact, I feel like I personally fell into this trap of negativity bias. I, and I'm sure many fans alike, are tired of understimulating garage tracks, roll our eyes when all our faves release it. But when we get things like Le Seraphim's Easy, Red Velvet's Chill Kill, and Mix's Dash, we get over them just as quickly. In fact, I barely notice we're still getting some sort of variety of songs because I'm so focused on the next group who can't let go of the boring Pink Pantherist rejects. Clearly, it's not a problem with the music. We loved Retro, we loved Girl Crush, we loved Cute, and we adored Garage and East Coast Club, but we feed into it so much that we get annoyed when it becomes front and center for too long, which is valid. I mean, no one wants to hear the same thing for literal years on end. But I think the takeaway from this video should be that there is no end-all be-all for genre or trends in K-pop. One concept alone isn't going to save K-pop, and we're only going to become more burnt out if we feed into that. We should be pushing for variety. We should be pushing for innovation, or else we're never leaving this cycle. New trends come up, we all love it, K-pop is saved, woo. Then 2 years pass and we're all burnt out. K-pop is getting boring, it's getting stale, it's not the same anymore, and we're packing our bags. So, with my closing thoughts, if you relate to any of this last section, if you find yourself burnt out, and if you feel you've been overconsumed in K-pop, take a break. Venture out into other genres, listen to new artists. I promise you'll come back not hating the things you love anymore. And well, if you do move on forever, that isn't a bad thing either. But the few month break I took has made me so much more appreciative for the space K-pop has taken in my life. And I can finally tune in for comebacks again and feel satisfied. But yeah, those are all of my concluding thoughts. If you made it this far into the video, thank you so much. I worked so hard on this. I'm so glad this is okay. Wait, let me plug my girls. Stan Artemis, Stan Lossemble, Stan Chu, Eve, you better release that song soon so I can promote you too. Guys, stream. I mean, don't like actually stream, like listen to the music. I don't believe in streaming culture, but like listen to the music. Yeah.